Hi, I am Mr. Heng. In today's lecture, you will study the effective rate of interest. This is to ensure that you know how to choose the bank that gives you the best rate for your saving or paying the least amount of interest if you need to take a loan from the bank. The formula is 1 plus I over m to the power m minus 1. So if the interest is compounded annually, the annual interest is the same as the EIR. We shall look at some example. Find the effective interest rate on a loan corresponding to 5% compounded every year. We find that the EIR, you use the same formula, compounded annually, M is 1. So you shall work out, you get the same answer as 0.05. So that is 5%. If the interest is compounded every month, the effective interest rate shall be 1 plus 0.05 over 12, the whole thing to a power 12, minus 1. Use your calculator, you shall get 0.05116. That is the same as 5.116%. So if you need to borrow a bank, you must not use the bank that compounded the interest monthly. Second example, where you are given two banks. One bank gives 6.10%, but the interest is compounded monthly. And bank B look like it gave a higher interest rate of 6.15% on a saving account, compounded semi-annually. Which bank pays its saver the most interest? So if you are putting your money in the bank, obviously you want to get the highest possible return. We shall use the EIR formula to compare the effective interest rate. So for bank A, the interest rate is compounded monthly. So your M is 12. Your interest rate is 0.061. You work out, the effective interest rate will be 6.27%. As for bank B, the interest a little bit higher, but compounded semi-annually. So M is 2. We substitute the value into the formula and we use a calculator. We work out the effective interest rate is 6.24%. So using this EIR, we will see that bank A, when the interest is compounded monthly, give a much higher interest as compared to bank B. So that will ensure that you get the best return for your saving. So bank A offer more, right? Question 3. We will look at the same amount, same interest, but the interest is compounded annually, semi-annually, monthly, weekly, and daily. See which of the period will give you the best effective interest rate. So annually, the total amount after 1 year, you will just use the same formula. You will get 1,620. So the interest you get, you subtract from your principal, you shall get 120. The effective interest rate is the same as the annual interest rate at 8%. Next, if the interest is compounded semi-annually, So M will be 2. You use a formula. We find the total amount after 1 year. You shall get 1,622.40. The interest earned after subtracting the principal will be 122.40. The effective interest rate will be 0.0816. That is 8.16%. So compounded semi-annually is higher than compounded annually. We'll look at the next one. When interest rate is compounded monthly, your M is 12. The total amount after 1 year should be 1,624.50. The interest earned after subtracting your principal 1,005 shall be 124.50. The effective interest rate we work out is 0.083. That is 8.30%. Next, when interest is compounded weekly, M will be 52. Work out the total amount after 1 year will be 1,624.83. The interest shall be 124.83. The effective interest rate will be equal to 0.0832. That is 8.32%. Lastly, when the interest is compounded daily, your total amount after 1 year shall be 1,624.92. Interest rate, interest will be 124.92. The effective interest rate will be equal to 8.33%. In the next slide, we have a summary of these 5 different types of interest compounded. You will look annually, M is 1, interest earned is 120.00. The effective interest rate is 8%. Semi-annually, M is 2, interest earned is 122.40. The EIR is 8.16%. Interest compounded monthly, M is 12. Total interest earned is 124.50. The EIR is 8.30%. Compounded weekly, M is 50. Interest earned is 124.83. Effective interest rate is 8.32%. Interest compounded daily, M is 365. Interest earned is 124.92. Effective interest rate is 8.33%. Therefore, at the same interest rate, when you compound it with the highest frequency, it will give you the highest interest earned and the best effective interest rate. Now you shall do these few questions on your own at the end of this lecture. So look at each questions. You may pause your video and work out before you go to the next question. So this is question 4, question 5, part A, part B, part C. Question 6, you have 3 options. Different interest rate compounded in a different period. Part A of the question, determine the effective annual interest rate for each of the nominal rate listed above. Then which is the best interest rate for an investment? Which is the best interest rate for a loan? So for investment, you want the highest possible EIR. Well, for the loan, when you borrow money from the bank, you want the lowest EIR. Question 7, quite straightforward. Question 8, last questions. We shall discuss the solutions in the next lecture. Thank you, class.